I'm gonna go Usman decision, Brad.
Usman decision. I'm gonna go Usman in 4. I'm gonna go Usman in 4. I think. I don't know. I think he's got a real grudge. And I think he's gonna lay into Colby, and I just can't see how Colby does anything different. But
Spartans! What is your profession?
Yes, people, another edition of Knights of the Round Table Discussions where we discuss all sports all the time. Got my guy Tooth with me. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, bro. What are you saying, bro?
I'm all good in the hood, bro. Better than a lot of people out there right now. Shout out Nuno, bro.
Hey, bro, listen, your boy Conte, bro. How disappointed are you, bro?
Bro, listen, I am fuming right now, bro. I'm done with football. I'm joining you, bro. I'm joining you, committing all my time to UFC now, bro. Until Ollie's gone, bro, I'm not interested no more in football.
You know what's funny? You know the meme that Mr. KA sent on the group of Conte's hair on Ollie's face, bro. I feel like, honestly, if they were going to sack him, they were going to sack him after that 5-0 loss, bro. You can't, do you know what I mean? You can't be that forgiving, bro.
I'm telling, bro, but listen, I'm not even going to get into it, bro. I'm not trying to upset myself. I've got good vibes. We're talking UFC, bro. We leave footy talk for another day, bro. Because literally, that announcement just put me in a bad mood, bro. Because it means I'm stuck with this flipping fraud for the rest of the season, bro. While everyone else is having a good time. But
before we move on, before we move on, just on football, bro. Don't you think it's ironic the fact that as soon as Newcastle became the richest club in the world, bro, I'm all about football, bro. And I've suddenly, slowly stopped watching UFC, bro. I think there's something going on here, bro.
It's true, bro. It's true. Since that announcement's been said, people, too, bro. Every time I talk to Two about UFC, he's like, you know what? I haven't seen it, you know, but man can tell me what the result was on the weekend.
Bro, I remember saying it on one of the first ever podcasts we ever made, yeah? And I even said it back then, like, I ain't watching football until something happens at Newcastle that makes me want to watch football. Yeah, and now it's fucking finally happened, bruv. That's enough. Hey, listen, bruv. Some of my predictions have been mad, bruv. Do you know? Telling you, bruv. Tooth Chadamas out here, bruv.
Oh, dear.
Let's do it, bruv. Let's do it. Another UFC review / preview / any kind of view that you want. And we're going to fucking dissect it, bruv. We're going to fucking dissect it like a surgeon and give it to you raw, bruv. Let's do it.
Let's do it, bruv. People, as you know, obviously, Nate Diaz, our dentistry, our MMA connoisseur, Tooth was with me for another edition of Fight Talk. And as he said, it's going to be review, preview, all kind of views on what has taken place and what will be taking place in combat sports. But as usual, before we start, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, get the subscriptions up, all that good stuff. Share. As I say all the time, we are here. And don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. We are quickly going to go over what happened at 267 because 268 kind of snuck up on us. Like normally you get like a 2-3 week break in between. No, Uncle Dane has basically said you're going to get back-to-back pay-per-views. So from 267 to 268. So we're going to be previewing 268. That will take up the majority of the time, but we need to recap on what happened at 267. Main event. Is it Blachowicz? Have I said it right? Did I say it right this time?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Versus Glover for the light heavyweight title. And Glover did it, bruv. The oldest first-time champion in the UFC, the second oldest UFC champion
All right, bro,
all
relax,
time.
bro. Yeah, relax. All right, fucking Daniel Cormier over here, bro. Fucking relax, bro. All right. Do you know what I mean? That's, bro, like every article you read through, every fucking, what was it? I didn't even watch it, but Embedded and shit like that. Like all of them, like they just kept mentioning the fact that this dude is old, bro. This dude is bare old, bro. He's just bare, bro. He's borderline diabetic old, bro. You know what I mean? Like, bro, they just get rubbing it in your face that this brother is bare old, bro. Like, bro, he should be somewhere like on a farm, chilling on pension money, old, bro. Like,
I'm telling you.
Like, bruv, like, I get it, bruv. Oldest fucking like person on earth, bruv. I get it, bruv. Do you know what I mean?
But we had to get out there because it is. I don't know. I think they're calling it some Cinderella story because he's been in the UFC 20 years and he's finally done it and blah 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 blah. So credit to Globe, obviously, by rear naked choke in the second round against Blachowicz. Sue, what do you think of the fight, bro?
Bruv, listen,
we said it was a 50-50.
Bruv, I'm still going on about the old jokes,
Oh my
bruv.
gosh, bro.
You know what, yeah, bruv? You know my man is so old, yeah, that people stop him on the street and say, bruv, you're bare old, bruv. Bruv, listen, he's so old that his whole post-fight interview, bruv, made him age another like 84 years.
Oh my days, bro. This guy.
Bro, but the thing is, yeah, you know what? Do you know what the deep thing is, bro? Like, even when he was giving his interview, he was saying, like, yeah, bro, I'm bare old, you know. Like, bro, we get it, bro. You're fucking old. But, bro, real talk on the fight itself, bro. He smashed it, man. He showed that, like, veteran, savvy sort of skill set. Do you get what I mean? He moved when he needed to move. When he took Blachowicz down, he kept him down. He used his head, he used his shoulders. Both hands were never on the mat at the same time. He just applied that pressure that only like a chiseled vet can do. Do you know what I mean? And then he broke him down, and do you know what I mean? He broke him down and got him to the ground and made him tap fairly quickly. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that, bruv. Like, bruv, it's literally like I don't even think. But to me, it looked like Glover didn't even have it in properly, and Yan was already tapping, bro.
Well, I don't know if I heard it on the commentary, but I think someone said he might have broken his jaw because you know the setup and the build up to that finish started on the feet.
Yeah,
and my man clipped him badly, bro. Do you know what I mean?
The left hook, was it? Was it left hook?
Yeah, bro. Check left hook. I can't even remember if it was a check left hook. I think they were in the middle of an exchange or some shit, and he just got there first, clipped him hard, made him do the stanky leg, bro. Made him do that babushka, posty fucking stanky leg, bro. But yeah, man. And then that basically led to the finish. So I don't think he had it in either. I think it was more of a neck crank. Then it was more of a rear naked choke. I think he just cranked him around the neck. And if he did break his jaw from that earlier exchange, then it would probably explain why he tapped so quickly. But I don't know, bruv, honestly. He did look by that point in the fight pretty much, not out of it, but he looked in trouble, bruv. Do you know what I mean? He looked in trouble. That first round, I think they started like the fight, and it was a minute in before Glover took him down, and they never got back. Do you know what I mean? And then from that point on, you knew, right, okay, this, you can see where this is going. You didn't even get up the whole round. He took you down in the 4th minute. You didn't get up. From that point on, it was pretty clear. But credit to Yan, in the second round, he came out and peppered him with some good shots, bro. He did land a few good combos. Oh, fuck.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
A few moments later.
Bruv, bare fumbles, bruv.
Rare fumbles, bro. But we are back now, people. We're proper back now. After the technical difficulties that we had earlier with Tooth trying to commit arson in his household. But yeah, where were we? Glover, bruv. So obviously he's won the light heavyweight title. What's next? Is it Jiri that's next? Is he the next in line?
Yeah.
Am I right in saying that?
Prohaska. Yeah, Prohaska's next. Yeah, it has to be him. He even called out in the post-fight interview. He called him out. The UFC zoomed in on a shot of him, and yeah, man, that'll be an interesting fight. I think Prohaska wins that one, but we'll see after that, man. Like Glover, I think this is. I hate to say it, but I've got that feeling that it's going to be one of those. He wins the title, he loses the title kind of things.
Yeah, 100. That's what I think.
Bro, just imagine he goes on a mad John Jones record.
Bro, this guy's basically saying he's going to be breaking records till he's like 60 years old, bro. This guy's receiving his pension, yeah, and he's like, yeah, I'm still on this like 20-fight win streak, bro. I'm not losing, bro. That guy's on a Zimmer frame to walking down to the octagon.
Bro, this guy is so old, bro, that he shits fossils, bro. I mean, he's so old, bro. I mean, oh my God, bro. Like, it's unbelievable. And the way they just kept going on about it as well, man. Like, that, bro, I just can't let that go, bro. Do you know what I mean? This guy's probably got a signed autograph of the Bible, bro. Do you know what I mean? Man is old, bro. But yeah, bro, I see it as just one of those things, in it, blood, where he's won it against the guy that on his worst day can be fucking terrible, bro. Someone like Yan. But the challenger that's in line for the belt next is a young up-and-coming beast with a lot of confidence going into the fights that he's just had, and he's made a big splash, he's made waves, and that is someone that I could see potentially becoming a great champion, because he's got all the skill sets, whereas obviously Glover is at the tail end of his career now. So he doesn't look like he's gonna be there for much longer. I feel like maybe if he wins, if he wins that fight, he might want to retire as champion even. You know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll watch this space and we'll see what happens.
It's an option, but we shall see what happens. Quickly moving on to the co-main event of that 267, Yan versus Sandhagen, bruv. Absolute. It was a good fight. Obviously, Yan coming out on top. Just breaking down Sandhagen in the end. I know Sandhagen got off to a fast start, took the first round, but then Yan was just working the fucking body, bruv. Just working the body. Then his boxing came in.
Combos.
It was like, from your perspective, like it's just same as usual, isn't it? When it comes to Petr Yan.
Yeah, he's just that much better than everyone else, bro. He really is. He's just that much better than everyone else. Like, realistically, who in that division is potentially a threat to it? Like, at this current time, I don't really see anyone in bantamweight being that much of a threat to Petr Yan. Nah, he was like, bro, you even admitted this, brother. Come on, man. Like, when we look at this fight without our sort of backing our horses, when we look at this,
it's a no contest.
besides the technicalities of competition. Now, when we're just looking at the fight itself, bro, I see you trying to worm your way out of this and back to the group, but you're pushing me into a corner here, bro, and I have to like just keep it real, bro. You know what I'm talking about. When you just look at it just as a fight, without putting a win, loss, or draw or no contest to it, without putting any money on any of these guys, or without backing a horse, or without having an allegiance to one of these guys.
Yeah.
And you just look at the fight itself. Come on. Like, Yan battered him in that fight, bro.
Yeah,
Aldo went for like 101 takedowns in the first round and didn't get any.
Do
you know what I mean? And Yan was peppering him, dropped him bare times. Just had total control of that fight. I'm looking at the bantamweight division now, and I'm just trying to find out who the top 10 is, because there are good guys in there and there are world-class guys in there, but
they just can't get anywhere near Petr Yan, bro.
They can't get anything. Exactly, bro. That, like, he's just miles ahead of the guys that are miles ahead. If that makes any sense, bro. Like, you've got Aljo, which we already saw what Yan can do to him. Then you've got TJ, which doesn't really, bro.
Because TJ, obviously, TJ beat Sandhagen, innit?
Yeah, I know, but it was close, wasn't it? Like, realistically, that fight didn't prove that TJ was a better fighter than Sandhagen. It just proved he beat him. Yeah. Like, it's a weird one. Do you know what I mean? It's a weird one. I know that didn't make sense, but you get what I'm trying to say. It's like he only beat him, and that win is on paper. But again, when you just look at the fight, anyone could have won that fight.
Yeah, it's true.
And the rest of the guys just don't. Yeah, they just don't. I don't see them at this current time being anywhere near Petr Yan. And Petr Yan is coming to the prime of his career. So
this is it. So it could be one of them ones where it's just domination.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm thinking.
Can he move up? What's after bantamweight?
Lightweight. And
is it not feather?
No. Feather's above. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, pardon me. Yeah, it is featherweight, and that's Volkanovski. Yeah, you're right.
Do you think Yan can move up?
Yeah. Have you seen them two spar?
What, him and Volkanovski?
Yeah.
Nah.
Bruh, watch it. When you get a moment, watch it. It's the two elite strikers, bro.
I know.
And they're mirroring each other as well. Do you know what I mean? And you could just see why they're so miles ahead of everyone else, bro. They're just so fucking good. It's unreal. And the way they effortlessly go from southpaw to orthodox, and they're just as good in each stance, and the amount of tricks they have up their sleeves, the combos, the movement. Yan punishes you, bro. If you miss or if you throw something and he's got a counter prepared for it, you're not getting one for free. You know, he makes you work, bro. He makes you pay. And that's what he done against Corey. He just basically shut him down to the point where no matter what Corey threw at him, Yan had an answer for it.
This is it.
But we'll see what happens, man. They've got to do Yan and your boy next.
Yeah. That'll probably be in the new year. In the new year, they got to run it back. So and it needs to happen, to be honest, because obviously, as much as Aldo is my boy, obviously I know he lost the fight, and the way how it ended, it was just messy. So we want an out-and-out winner for the next one. Just quickly before we move on, where does Sandhagen go from here? He's lost to Aljo, he's lost to TJ, he's now lost to Petr Yan. Where does it looks like? I mean, Yan and Aljo will be next. If Yan wins that, this is going to top it. Like, where does Sandhagen go from here? Should he move up? What happened next for Sandhagen?
No, I think it's just. I don't even think it's a bad run of form. I think the loss to Aljo was one where it just happened so quickly. Again, no excuses, but it just really happened so quickly that we never really got to see a fight. And the reason for that being is because there's a window of opportunity when you get someone's back to quickly wrap something up.
Yeah.
And the reason why that is because in that first few moments, your opponent is just thinking about how to get you off their back. He's not really thinking about protecting his neck. Wu-Tang Clan shout out right there. So proper, bro. You got to throw a RZA meme in there somewhere. But yeah, and that was the moment that Aljo used.
Yeah.
And there's from what I've like looked up in the jiu-jitsu world, there's kind of two schools of thought when it comes to stuff like that. It's either like jump on it quick, or wear your opponent down, grind them down, as Rickson Gracie used to say, like cook the beans. Do you know what I mean? And then like finish them.
Yeah.
Like dominate them to the point where they just literally give up or give something up and you take it and finish them. And that's what happened in their fight. He quickly finished him up, where we didn't really get to see how good he would be against a worthy adversary.
Yeah.
Against Petr Yan, obviously, Yan is just miles ahead of everyone else. That's miles ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
And then the TJ fight was on a knife edge. Like it was
close.
If they gave it to Corey, we would have been saying, oh, maybe TJ won that fight.
Yeah.
It's one of those toss-ups. So I'm not concerned, but I think he does need to get a few more wins now that he's on this streak. And he just needs to face opponents in, like, be a bit of a gatekeeper for the time being.
Yeah.
Get a bit more clout. Because he can be a champion. But maybe just not now.
No, I hear that. And Corey's a good fighter, man. He's a good fighter. It's just unfortunate that he's in a division where Petr Yan, as you said, is the elite, and then you got Aljo and Dillashaw, where it didn't quite work out for him, and now he's below that, so he's gonna have to fight everyone below him to try and build back up his confidence and to go again for to try and get a title shot. So we'll see what happens with Corey Sandhagen. Obviously, Petr Yan and Aljo will run it back, hopefully in 2022. Your boy, what's his name? Chimaev. It was him and Hooker, innit?
Hamza Chimaev.
Yeah, and Hooker.
Yeah.
Which another one that ended early, bro. You got man.
Yeah. That was Makachev versus Hooker.
Okay.
Yeah, Makachev. Hooker. Yeah, bro. Like, listen, we're gonna go over it as quick as we did in the prediction. He subbed him, which is what everyone in the world knew would happen, bro. That was it. Like,
bro, he just got him, and that was it, bro. Like, it was Kamora, innit?
But it will be interesting to see what happens next, because DC caused a little bit of a stir by obviously backing Makachev. Like, there was a lot of nepotism going on there, because obviously they're from the same gym. So he was giving his boy a lot of airtime. And then he said something along the lines of, oh, Chandler and Gaethje are going to fight. Who cares? Like, just give the shot to Makachev kind of thing. And then Justin responded, and it became a whole little thing of its own. But yeah, why not? Why not give him the shot? Fuck it. Give him the shot. See what happens.
Oh, no, because what's it name? Poirier's got the shot.
Yeah, Poirier's got the shot right now. But that division is such a mess. You've got Conor waiting to come back. You've got Gaethje and Chandler, and then you've got Makachev, and then you've got Dariush as well, bruv. So it's
your boy.
Yeah, proper. So it's a whole. It's like, fuck it. Give any one of those guys a shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, even if you're not giving them a shot, try and make those fights happen, bruv, because we want to see those fights. You know what I mean? Because that lightweight division is it lightweight? Yeah, lightweight, isn't it? Yeah. Lightweight division at the moment is nuts. Yeah. It's nuts. And obviously when Conor comes back, it's just going to become another circus, and it's just going to be absolutely nuts. But yeah, that's it for 267. Because we got to move on. Because we got to look ahead to the stacked card that is UFC 268. It's upon us so quickly. It didn't even give us time to digest 267, and we're on to now 268. I thought it was supposed to be in Vegas, but is it at Garden? It's at the Garden, isn't it?
Yeah, MSG.
Yeah, it's at the Garden. I thought it was supposed to be in Vegas, but obviously it's at Madison Square Garden, who a lot of people call it the Mecca of sport, as they like to say. And we've got 3 co-main events that are absolutely nuts. Culminating in the first one, which is Usman versus Covington 2. Obviously, the first fight ended in... Did Usman finish him in the first one? Yeah, in the 5th inning?
Yeah.
In the 5th round. Obviously, they're running it back for the welterweight title. These are one of these fights, because I think I remember, and we all discussed it, myself, you, and The Truth, saying that this is going to be Usman's toughest fight to date. Just let the people know why you believe that this is going to be his toughest fight to date.
Well, Usman's dominated everyone else so comfortably, and he did beat Colby pretty one-sidedly, but Colby was the only opponent that really took it to Usman. You know what I mean? Usman's had his way with pretty much everyone. You know, he had his way with Masvidal in their first fight, knocked him out in their second fight. He had his way with Gilbert Burns. He's had his way with Woodley, that's it. So when he fought Colby, he was, you know, the better fighter by far, but Colby put it on him. Like, he didn't just lay down. There were moments in that fight where Colby owned Usman, and it'll be interesting to see if he can replicate that, or if he can improve on that. He's had a long time away. He's moved gyms. And what we do know about Colby and the way he fights is that he's a cardio machine. And anywhere the fight goes, he's pretty good, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's good at wrestling. That was his background. As I said, he's got cardio for days. His striking, he applies pressure, his combos, he's coming at you from all angles. He normally backs the fighters up against the cage and then shoots for a takedown and then does his thing on the ground, dominates them, whatever. But normally, he's just applying that pressure all the time, like he did against RDA and Robbie Lawler. And the quality of opponents that he's fought are in and around the same quality of opponents that Usman's fought.
It's true.
You know, he's got scalps. So all the gimmicky shit aside, just again, looking at breaking the fighters down, that's what we should expect. Again, the fight within itself is something completely different. You know, Usman can come out and completely take his soul away. But from what we know and have seen of both these guys, that's kind of what I'm expecting from Colby. I'm expecting Colby to come and make it a gritty affair. I'm sure it's not going to be as one-sided of a fight as some of Usman's previous fights. Again, going off what we know about them. And it will be interesting to see, bruv, if Colby wins. And again, I'm not backing Colby and I'm not backing Usman. I'm just going to enjoy this fight because I don't really like neither.
Yeah, I know you don't.
You know what I mean?
I'm not a Colby fan, so
No, I hear that. But by default, that doesn't make me a Usman fan. I think.
Oh yeah, I know, because I know you don't like Usman because you don't want to hear him talk.
Yeah, bro. Proper. Don't even let me start on him, bro. But yeah, with Colby, it'll be interesting to see if he wins, because if he does, then it obviously trilogy fight will be on the horizon.
It opens up the division as well.
And that's exactly what I was going to lead into, bro. Exactly what I was going to lead into. It just throws a spanner in the works. Like it will be a complete shock to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. What do you think, bro?
I mean, one of the things that I took, so I rewatched the first fight, and one of the biggest things that I took, I said today it's been Usman's hardest fight. One of the things that I took from Usman's perspective, and I think it's how Usman got the win in the end, is that he did a lot of work to the body to slow Colby down, because I think he knew that Colby had cardio for days. So one of the biggest things, and I think one of the smartest things Usman did, was work the body, worked it tirelessly. If it wasn't kicks to the body, it was throwing some hooks and some uppercuts to the body. He literally just pounded the body, and I think that's what slowed down Colby in the end. And I think in this fight, I expect Colby to learn from that. I expect Colby to try. It's one of the biggest things I see in the UFC. It's very hard to stop body shots. Like, people find it very difficult because obviously in boxing it's just hands, so you can. But when you got people throwing leg kicks, throwing uppercuts to the body, hooks to the body, it becomes very, very difficult. So from that perspective, I expect Usman to go back to that and try and slow Colby down again. I think for Colby, I think he needs to control the pace and range of the fight. I think he needs to try and get Usman to fight his kind of fight and take Usman out of his comfort zone, because I think everyone fights to Usman's pace. So Usman's comfortable. And I think if Colby can up the pace and get Usman to fight his kind of pace of fight, I think it could make Usman very uncomfortable. I can't see Colby taking him down. Man's got 100% takedown defense. Like, I can't see Colby taking him down, so he's gonna have to work from standing, which plays into Usman's style. But I can't see nothing but Usman win. I can't.
Yeah.
But
no,
go on, bro.
Me too. It's one of those sort of Canelo versus Caleb Plant situations where one guy is just so dominant, and he showed his dominance on so many occasions where it's hard not to favor him winning this. But when you talked about body shots, I think it's quite easy to defend those, man. It's like, if someone goes to the body, you have to punish them. You have to punish them. Like, they can't just hit you in the body and get away with it. And if it's a punch, you've got multiple options.
Yeah. You can go over the top.
Exactly. And if it's a kick, you have to catch it. Take him down. Like, that's exactly what Yan does. This is, again, what the elite guys do. The guys that really understand striking. And it will be interesting to see now if Colby has made those improvements and made those adjustments, especially now with changing camp. And also there's a lot of things he may have learned from that fight. Like, both of them definitely went into it emotionally charged.
Oh yeah, after what was being said.
It was a very bitter affair that they had. It will be interesting to see if this one is just as, personal, or have they learned from it because they've already had a war with each other, and they're like, all right, you know what? I know what I'm going to expect of this dude. So what is the point of wasting energy on hyping the fight up? Like, the first fight alone is selling the second fight.
This is it. 100.
But again, Colby, I'm expecting Colby to put on the show, so I can't wait to see some of the shit he says. And it's just, bro, it's like...
Did you hear what he said about Chimaev? Is it Chimaev? Did you hear what he said about him, bro? like calling him come shot Chimaev, bruv, and saying that.
Bro, that guy's savage, bro.
It's on. I was on what's it name? IG, and I saw a little clip of it, bro. Like when he was talking, I was just like, "What's wrong with this guy, bro?" He's like saying that he needs to fight some more other people before he starts talking about the elite guys and whatnot and blah blah. But I don't know what's going on between them two, but
it's hilarious though, bro. Come shot him high as, bro.
He's taking the piss.
Bro. Colby has some of the baddest fucking one-liners, bro. It's like, what does he call? He calls Ben Askren Ben Ass Cream. He called Usman Marty fake newsman, bruv. Like,
this guy, bro. This is what I'm saying. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, some of his one-liners are excellent, bro. But obviously, I'm not here for what he stands for or whatever. But
like I said, for me, before people get it twisted and think I'm a fan of Colby, maybe I am, but not for those like politically charged white supremacist reasons. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking at it like a character in a movie or a comic book or a fucking play or some shit, bro. I'm like, I don't know the fucking dude, bro. Realistically, I don't care about him, bro. But when I'm tuning into these fights, it's shit like that like I enjoy, bro. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to.
You want some flavor, you want some personality.
Proper.
When it comes to these fights, so it's fine because I think a lot of them are just like, obviously, you not liking Usman speak, it's just basic or they're corny. So,
bro, listen, Usman needs to be barred from the microphone, bro. That's it. Just needs to, like one of them Japanese fighting dogs that aren't allowed to bark, bro. They just have to go in there and kill each other, bro. Like that's how Usman should be like handled in the UFC, bro. Like, look, you're not allowed to talk, bro. Just go in there, fight. No post-fight interview, no pre-fight interview, no mid-fight interview, no fucking
mid-fight.
You know, like, bro, it's so bad that in between rounds when they zoom in on the corners and listen, to, like, you're not even allowed to talk then, bro. Like,
but yeah, Tooth, what are you saying? Give me a prediction for this main event.
I'm gonna go Usman decision, Brad.
Usman decision. I'm gonna go Usman in 4. I'm gonna go Usman in 4. I think. I don't know. I think he's got a real grudge. And I think he's gonna lay into Colby, and I just can't see how Colby does anything different. But because I think if you can't take him down, then I mean, if Colby takes him down in this fight, that changes everything. Because then I think that builds Colby's confidence up sky high for being the first person to take him down. But I just can't see him doing it. So I think Usman in 4, but it will be a very, very difficult 4 rounds for Usman to try and get this big victory. But yeah, UD, that's probably a more logical shout, to be honest, from what we know about both fighters and based on the first fight. Obviously, he stopped him in the last round. So we will watch this space and see what happens, people, as we move on to, as I said, a stat card, the second co-main event, and that is your girl, bruv, Thug Rose versus Zhang Weili, bruv. 2, obviously, in the first fight, Thug Rose stopping her just over a minute with a head kick. Zhang Weili wasn't happy about it, so they're running it back again for the strawweight title. What are you expecting for this fight, Tooth? What are you saying after the first? I think the one thing we can expect, surely this has to go on longer than the first fight, surely.
Yeah. I think it's unfortunate that we didn't get to see a fight, but what we got instead was one of probably the best knockouts in the female division history. Do you know what I mean? That and probably Shevchenko's knockout head kick versus Jessica Ai. So,
yeah.
Yeah, bro. I'm cool with it. Do you know what I mean? But now this time, I think we're gonna see them fight. You know, similar to the Jędrzejczyk fights, where she knocked her out clean in the first fight, and then in the second fight they gave us a war. So I'm expecting a war, bruv. I'm expecting a war, but I think Zhang Weili could get her title back, bruv. She might get her title back, bruv, this time. You know, she is fucking quality, bruv. And
100%.
Yeah, and what she does well is, I think she's a very good disciple of the game. I don't think she's arrogant enough to go back and look at. She might look at that as a knockout, a lucky knockout, but I'm sure they're going to be looking at that kick and being like, "Shit, we never saw that coming." In this, in this training camp, we got to prepare her for that sort of elusive style, because that's what I predicted in the fucking first fight. And I remember this, I nailed it. I said Rose's footwork is on a different level. The way she throws strikes, no telegraphing at all. No telegraphing.
This is it. This is it. Sorry to cut you off too, but when I watched the fight again, like Zhang Weili was going in with like leg kicks. That was her initial stance. Leg kicks, chop down the tree, wet the legs. So when Rose throws the kick, I think Zhang Weili thought she was going to throw a leg kick, but so I don't know if you get it up, look at it later. But Zhang Weili goes to avoid the leg kick, so she steps back. But then because she steps back, she leans forward and leans into the head kick, and that's what does it. So yeah, her not being able to tell 100%, you're right, in not being able to telegraph Bug Rose, because she didn't see it coming. Literally didn't see it coming. Sorry, bro, continue.
No, you're right, bruv. And I remember when they slowed it down, they had to slow it down like so much because it happened so fucking quick that you only noticed Zhang Weili raising her leg when they slowed it down. And then you're like, oh shit, she thought it was a leg kick. So, and I said that about Rose in the first fight. I was like, bro, she's so elusive. She's so quick. She could throw anything at any angle. Her stand-up is out of this world. With her, it's always been a mental thing. And she's admitted it. It's like, she's admitted this in the past. She's very outspoken about like mental health and all that stuff. And she's almost like her own worst enemy.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that is why it is difficult for me to always be like, oh, Rose can win every fight. She probably can, but it's the mental that makes me doubt certain fights that she gets into. And that's the tough thing to overcome, like Donald Cerrone. Do you know what I mean? It's like one of them ones, bro. You're always going to be like, by the brightest lights and by the biggest lights, you're kind of going to be your own worst enemy. You've kind of lost the fight before you've even got into the cage.
Yeah. No, 100%. No, I hear that. I hear that. And you're right. Yeah. When you doubt yourself mentally, especially in the fight game, like you can't afford to doubt yourself mentally, because as you said, that's when you lose the fight before you even enter the cage. And if you're an elite fighter, you can smell that, you can sense that, and you know when you're going in there, and you can look at your opponent and you know that they're mentally, they're not in the right headspace. So you know you've got this one. So hopefully now Rose has overcome that. Obviously, you're always going to be battling your demons mentally, but hopefully she's overcome that and has self-confidence to be like, I'm the champ and I'm going to stay the champ. But in terms of the actual fight, like as I said, you think we're going to have a war. Yeah. For Rose, I think it's just business as usual. Stay on the outside, keep the fight at distance, counter. I think that's how she wins the fight. I think for Weili, she has to try and close the distance. Obviously, for the casual fan, we didn't see what Zhang Weili is like in the fight, but what's her like sort of fighting style? Like, how does she go about her business? Because was she in kickboxing? Is that her thing, or am I wrong?
Honestly, I'm not sure, but her style of stand-up is very similar to like Chinese Sanda.
Oh yes, that's it. Yeah.
The Chinese style of kickboxing kind of. So it's really good. Her striking is elite level, man. Zhang Weili's striking for that division, relative to that division. I don't see anyone else beating her in the division other than Rose. And Rose, as I said, is one of those things where, you know, how much will she let herself down before any fight, let alone a fight against the next best person in the world? I've got to go with Zhang on this, bro. I've got a feeling Zhang's gonna win. I think it'll be a decision.
It's actually so ironic because obviously in the first fight you called Rose.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're going with Zhang is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Whereas I called Zhang in the first fight, and I'm gonna call Rose in this one because I just think that the confidence that this will give Thug Rose is second to none. And I think she'll go into this fight knowing she has to keep at a distance, has to be unpredictable to Zhang Weili, where I think Zhang Weili is just going to be all action and we know it. And I don't think she can afford to Rose can't afford to let this turn into a scrap because she's going to get beat up. On the ground, who's better on the ground?
Rose, by far.
Yeah.
But do you know what? I wouldn't say by far, but from what I've seen, I'm definitely going to say Rose, like right off the cuff, no hesitation.
Yeah, because that's what I thought. So I think that's another avenue for Rose. Try and get this. She can try and get this fight on the floor, and I think she can definitely go to work on the floor and go from there. So I think she have options. Whereas I think Zhang Weili is on the feet. So if Rose can get this down on the floor, I think she has a massive advantage there. I'm gonna go Rose in 4 submission.
You know, I might have to retract my because
Convinced him.
You've called 2 finishes and I've called 2 decisions. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I'm being too skeptical about these.
I think that Usman won 100%. Your prediction is way more realistic.
Yeah.
Than the Usman one.
But with the Rose and Zhang, can Zhang finish Rose?
Cool,
The only person I remember finishing Rose was Andrade.
Yeah.
And that was a dirty night. I don't remember anyone else finishing Rose.
No, I can't think of anything. No. She's lost 4. I don't know how many of that was in the UFC.
I know she was on the Ultimate Fighter before she came onto the UFC, and she lost. No, she didn't. Yeah, she lost the final, I think, to Carla Esparza. Maybe Carla Esparza choked her out. But this is when Rose was like fucking 18, 19, bro. You know what I mean? Like a kid. Other than that, she lost to Karolina Kowalkiewicz from Poland. But I don't remember that being a finish, bro. I think that's the decision. But I'll look it up, actually. Let me have a look. Let's have a look and see. Mixed martial arts record. Yeah, that was a decision. So I was right about that. And yeah, she lost to Carla Esparza by rear naked choke, but that was in her 4th fight.
Okay.
Yeah, and she was probably like 2019. So yeah, man. Could Shane finish her? Yeah.
I think she can if it turns into a dogfight. Yeah. I really think she can.
Yeah, Zhang can finish her. Fuck it, I'm gonna stick with the decision. Actually, fuck it.
No, fair enough, bro. Fair enough. Yeah, but it's one of them fights where even though Rose won the first fight, it's one of them ones where you still don't know. You still don't know because Zhang Weili's elite just as much as elite as Fug Rose is. So it's going to be one of them ones. It's a toss-up. I don't think there's an out-and-out winner in this one at all, especially because we didn't actually get to see a fight in the first one. So we watch this space, see what happens between Fug Rose and Zhang Weili. And yeah, as we move on to the third co-main event, bro, like Tooth is living life right now, bro, with this card. Because in the third co-main event, even though this one is 3 rounds, it is in the lightweight division. It is Gaethje versus Chandler. I feel like out of all 3 of these fights, this is going to be the maddest one.
Yeah.
I just feel like this is just going to be all action nonsense, bro.
The fucked up thing is, bro, they put it as the first fight of the main card. So as soon as you tune in, it's the first.
They got 2 more. They got 2 more. Because I think Frankie Edgar's on the main card as well.
Yeah, but I'm looking at it on Wikipedia. Wikipedia says Gaethje Chandler's the first fight. Edgar Vera is the second fight. Burgos Quarantillo is the first.
Nah. Chandler.
Bro. I know. I was looking at it all like, what is that?
Nah. The first fight on the main card is the Edgar fight. Then the 2 names that you said after that, I don't know who they are. That's the next one. Then you got Gaethje Chandler, Fug Rose, and Zhang Weili, and then Usman and Covington is the main event.
Really?
Yeah,
that.
Yeah. 100%.
But then Wikipedia's chatting shit, is it?
Yeah, bro. Obviously, people just input their own things on there. But yeah, bro, it's gonna. I just feel like this is gonna be the maddest fight. Both men coming off losses.
By far, bro.
Both men coming off losses as well. Like obviously, Gaethje lost to Khabib. Chandler lost to Oliveira. Both title fights that he lost as well. Bro, talk to me. What are you saying? What are you saying about this fight? I don't, bro.
It's just.
I don't think we can analyze this technically, bro.
Just like what? We can't analyze it technically, bro. It's just going to be a madness, bro. It's just going to be 2 beefcakes beating the shit out of each other, bro. And you're just going to be watching it like a fucking car crash, bro. That's it. It's just going to be mental. It's going to be madness. Leg kicks, counters, hooks, jabs, body shots, head kicks, fucking, if it's Gaethje, doing rolling thunders, everything, bro. Like everything. I don't even think they're gonna take each other down, bro. They're just gonna have a gentleman's agreement to like not wrestle.
Oh, you think there's gonna be nothing on the floor? Oh, is it?
No, not at all, bro. Gaethje's never shot a takedown in any of his fights, bro.
So
I might be wrong on that, but
do you think that's an option for Chandler then? Does Chandler try and get it on the floor?
Well, normally when 2 wrestlers fight each other, they don't take each other down. It just becomes a battle of attrition, bro. This is what I'm kind of expecting with Usman and Colby again, because in their first fight there wasn't too many takedowns. Like they just didn't bother, But in this fight with Gaethje and Chandler, I've got more reason to believe because the way they both fight is just like savages. You know what I mean? The way they both fight is mental.
It's crazy. And as I said, I mentioned that obviously Poirier's in line for the next title fight against Oliveira. Just in terms of Gaethje, because obviously Gaethje after Khabib fight seems to be just been thrown by the wayside. We saw obviously Conor fight Poirier. We saw Chandler come in against Hooker and win. Then Chandler got thrown in for the lightweight title with Oliveira. And bro, there was just no mention of Justin Gaethje at all. So you think Gaethje will feel a type of way in this fight and be like, yo, I'm coming in this fight to say after Poirier and Oliveira fight, I'm next in line. I'm back, and this is my this is my title fight will be next.
Yeah, especially with the hype that Makhachev's got in this last weekend's UFC 267 card. Absolutely, bro. He's trying to take all that hype away from Makhachev's victory against Dan Hooker. Do you know what I mean? He wants to remind everyone why, yeah, you actually want to see Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje, or you want to see Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje too. And that's the game plan. And Michael Chandler's the same, bro. We've not really seen much of him. We know he's world class from what we've seen in Bellator. He came in, he made light work of Dan Hooker the same way Makhachev did. And then he went into a fight with Charles Oliveira, which was a fucking war for as long as much as it was a short fight. They provided a fucking absolute barn burner.
No, it was a good fight, man. Very good fight.
So we know, all right, cool. He is championship level caliber. And he's also got a point to prove, because a win against Gaethje propels him easily back into a rematch with Oliveira, or a fight with Dustin where he matches up with both of them really well in terms of their styles.
And I think Chandler has something to prove here, because obviously coming over from Bellator, obviously you're going to have UFC guys looking at you and be like, oh, it's just Bellator, bruv. Like, you over there for how many years and blah, blah, blah. So he's going to be like, hey, I belong with the elite. I belong in the UFC, and I'm going to show it by beating Justin Gaethje, propelling myself back in the mixer for the world title. So it's because I think if Gaethje wins this fight, I think he fights the winner of Poirier and Oliveira. I think if Chandler wins it, I could see Chandler fighting, is it Makhachev, before he gets a title shot.
The thing is, Chandler, you can tell, like, he's come over from Bellator, and that doesn't really happen too often in the UFC. You know, I know of UFC fighters going to Bellator. Everyone knows them. You know, Yoel Romero, Ryan Bader.
Rumble's over there now as well.
Rumble's over there.
What's her name's over there as well?
Cyborg, yeah. Like, they all go there. We know that, but it's very rare that we from UFC go directly to them and then take one of their top dogs. Very rare. So Dana must really like him, and you can tell Dana does really like him, because as soon as he came into the UFC, he was given one fight and he got a title shot.
No, this is it, because like, when you think about it, like, I'm just surprised Michael Venom Page is still at Bellator, bro. Like, I don't understand how he hasn't transitioned.
No, I like him there, bro. I like him at Bellator. I still think
he's got... You don't want to see him over here?
Not yet.
Because what is he?
He is ready. I think he definitely is ready.
What weight class is he?
He's welterweight, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, mate. I wouldn't mind watching him fight Usman, bro.
I think. I'm not sure. I can't remember, honestly, off the top of my head. But
if he is welterweight, I wouldn't mind watching him versus Usman, bro.
No, but Michael Venom Page still. Look, as much as I'm a massive fan of his, in his one big fight against the toughest opponent, not only for him, but in that division, he came up very short, bro. But
wasn't that the rematch of the last fight?
Yeah, the rematch, he beat him, split decision. I can't remember it too tough, but it was a 3-round fight, and it was a good fight, but I can't remember it, bro, honestly. But with him, he still needs to fight these level guys. So he needs to fight people on the level of Douglas Lima and these guys, because he's fought way too many guys that are just nowhere near his level. And I've seen enough. He's provided way too much entertainment. Too entertainment overload, bro. So now it's like, all right, cool, bro. I've seen you do this shit. I want to see you do this shit against a couple more scalps and then jump over to the UFC. I think he could, bro. Again, styles make fights, and even if he loses, he's just going to make it difficult for someone.
No, 100%, 100%.
No one can imitate him. No one can imitate what he does, the way he fights. And that's is the biggest problem for all his opponents. Is like, where are you going to find a training partner that could do what Michael Venom Page does?
No, you're right. I wouldn't see him in the UFC, but obviously, Tooth is the MMA connoisseur, so I defer to him. And if he's saying that he doesn't think MVP is quite ready yet, then we'll watch his space and see what happens. But going back to Gaethje and Chandler, Rob, there's no dissection. Here's what it is. Tell me, what are you saying?
I'm going with Gaethje, and I'm going with... Fuck it. I'm going to go with a... Shall I go decision again, bro?
No, there's no way this is going to be a decision, bro.
Bro, just imagine this fight turns out to be like worse than Ngannou versus Lewis, bro.
Oh my, nah, no chance.
Imagine, bro.
Could you imagine, bro? All the hype.
Chelsea, them two were meant to have a war, and it turned out to be the worst fight ever. So just imagine if these two, all that expectation, and they come out and they just barely hit each other for like 5 rounds.
Gaethje, it's not in Gaethje's nature to fight that way.
All right, I'm still gonna go Gaethje decision. Bare decisions tonight, bro. Decisions. The thing with Chandler's game, bruv. Chandler is fucking game.
Oh, I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just saying it, bruv. The way how these two fight, yeah, it's not good, bruv. Yeah, I don't care if it's only 3 rounds. It's not going in 3 rounds.
It's tough, innit, bro? I know what you mean. I know. So who do you have it then?
I got Gaethje in the 3rd.
Really?
Yeah.
Not your boy Chandler.
My boy.
That ain't your boy though.
You've never heard me back Chandler since he's come over to the UFC. I
like Chandler, bro. Chandler's cool, bro. Chandler's cool.
You know my issue with Chandler. It's not him as a fighter. I just don't like the fact that he walked in and got a title shot. That was my issue.
That's your beef with Dana, though.
Yeah. But
you can't blame your boy Chandler for that, bro.
Yeah, but I want to see him prove himself, and I think a fight like this will tell me a lot more than the title fight against Oliveira, to be honest, about where Michael Chandler's at in the rankings in the UFC. But like, I think out of all 3 fights, I think I'm just looking forward to this one the most. Cause I just know it's just gonna be chaos, bruv.
Yeah, me too.
It's going to be chaos, but I think all 3 fights have potential to be chaos. In all honesty, if it goes the way, obviously Zhang Weili, if she can get in, it could create chaos. I think Usman and Covington is probably the most methodical fight out of the 3. I think in terms of the way how Usman fights and breaks it down or whatever, but Covington, as I said, if he can step up the pace and control it, that could turn into a crazy fight as well. But Gaethje and Chandler for me, like absolute madness. Bruv, these 3 fights in itself is nuts, bruv. Absolutely. I know you're looking forward to the rest of the card. I'm
not even going to get into it, bruv, because there's like you just got to tune in from the very first fight. It's just every fight on that card is banging, bruv. It's all of them are worthy of watching. Do you know what I mean? So it's got my co-sign.
I hear that from Tooth. So people, UFC 268. I mean, if there's a card that you want to watch before the end of the year, even though you should be watching all of them, but this one I endorse highly because you're not going to be disappointed at all. And I'm not even talking about the co-main events. I've been talking about even before that. So make sure you tune in and watch this fight along with, obviously, Canelo versus Plant as well. But let us know what you think in the comment section. Who you got? Have you got Usman? Have you got Covington? Have you got Thug Rose? Have you got Zhang Weili? Have you got Gaethje? Have you got Chandler? Let us know what you think. Let us know how you think the fights are going to go, who's going to win and how and why and all the rest of it. And let us know what you think of the actual card and how stacked it is. Are you happy with the card? Do you think something else should have been? Because, bro, how is Holloway's fight on Fight Night, bruv.
I know, it's mental, innit? But that's going to be a sick fucking card.
I know, but I just don't understand how it's on Fight Night. It's not one of the on this or 269. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, for example, the Holloway fight should be on one of these cards. But yeah,
that's going to be. Do you know what I'm going to call it here, bruv? You might think Gaethje Chandler might be fight of the year. I'm gonna go Holloway and Yair fight of the year, bro.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
That fight is gonna be fucking mental, bro.
I just think it's criminal that it's not pay-per-view. But obviously, for the people in other countries, it's a great fight that you're getting not on pay-per-view, so you can benefit from that. But yeah, as I say, let us know what you think in the comment section. And as usual, before we go, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share. We are here. Make sure to tell a friend, and don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. Want to say thank you very much to my MMA connoisseur, the Nate Diaz at Dentistry Tooth. Thank you very much, sir.
Safe, bro. Anytime, bro.
Indeed. People, I said at the end of the boxing, if you are only here for the UFC fight talk, boxing talk has gone on. We're previewing Canelo versus Plant. So make sure you head over to that video if you want to watch that. Also, Footy Chat will be back this week.
We're going to get into it, bruv. You know we're going to get into
it. I've already said, I'm letting you lot know from now, the enthusiasm that you once had from me will not be there anymore. I've accepted defeat. Ollie has won. I no longer care for Manchester United. So I will be following my other team in Juventus, even though they're just struggling just as much as the United are. But Ollie has won. I've been defeated. So until he is gone, I have no care for Manchester United whatsoever. But this ain't the show for that. You will get that on Footy Chat tomorrow when the video comes out. But people, oh yeah, and obviously people, next week you will get the review of UFC 268 along with Canelo versus Plant as well. And we should be in the next couple of weeks previewing Crawford and Porter as well. So a lot more fight talk coming up, people. So all our combat sports fans, fight talk is officially back and up and running. But people, stay safe out there, and we shall see you very, very soon. Peace.
Peace.